A move might just be bubbling beneath the surface. It's that sense, that whisper that maybe, just maybe, the Dolphins are setting the table for something that could shift the air around this franchise. No banners, no sirens, just a ticking clock and a front office that might be more impatient than they let on. The idea of a trade involving Jalen Ramsey isn't floating out of nowhere. It's real, and it could happen sooner than anyone expected. There's a draft coming up. That date's circled in red somewhere in Miami's offices. Time's slipping, and there's no luxury of waiting around. Decisions have weight now. Urgency isn't a choice. It's stitched into every second before the picks start rolling. And Ramsey? He's not the same guy who lit up Jacksonville and swaggered through L.A. But he's not done. Not even close. 2 seasons with Miami haven't given back what many thought they would. There were flashes, sure. Moments that reminded everyone why he was once the guy everyone built their defensive schemes around. But consistency, dominance, that feeling of inevitability when he lined up against the best? Not quite. Not anymore. But let's not kid ourselves either. This isn't some washed-up veteran looking for a farewell tour. He's 30. 3-time All-Pro. The body still moves. The mind still sees it before it happens. He's got $21.1 million on his tag for 2025, and that number filters out the noise. Not everyone can touch that kind of deal, but those who can, they're watching. They're thinking. So who picks up the phone? Let's start with a vibe's already familiar. Chargers. LA feels like it never really said goodbye. The name still echoes there, and Derwin James? That bond doesn't fade just because the jerseys change. These two go back. Florida State roommates, that kind of shared space that builds trust without needing to talk about it. You put Ramsey in that secondary, you're not guessing. You're plugging in a known force. The Chargers didn't fall apart last season. They adapted. Tarheeb still stepped in, not because they wanted to rush the kid, but because Asante Samuel went down and the job had to be done. And he held up, way better than anyone thought. But you don't go into a season just hoping lightning strikes twice. Especially not in a division that keeps throwing elite receivers at you every other week. Joey Bosa's gone now. The pass rush won't bite like it used to. That means the corners? They're going to be on the island longer, alone, asked to stretch beyond comfort. You bring Ramsey in. That changes the math. That changes what offenses are willing to test. And that kind of change, that's playoff survival. It's not about putting together a dream team. It's about surviving long enough to matter in January. And LA knows that. Then there's Las Vegas. What happened to the Raiders' defense last year didn't just show up on stat sheets. You could feel it. The air got thin every time the ball went up. 29 passing touchdowns allowed? That's not just a number. That's a symptom. Hobbs, Jones, Morig, names that didn't stick when it mattered. They're gone now. The room's changed. But did actually get better? Eric Stokes, Lonnie Johnson, Jeremy Chin, new blood, but none of them are known for being the guy you put on an island and forget about. They're not Ramsey. That's not a slight, that's just the truth. Max Crosby sticking around is huge. He's the storm that never stops. And if Kuntz gets back to what he was, you've got edge presence again. But even then, pressure can only reach so far. If no one's covering, you're just running in place. The Raiders have room. Over $43 million to move around. And here's the thing. Ramsey wanted this once. Back when LA started shifting gears, he looked at Vegas and saw something. Maybe it wasn't the right time. Maybe the fit didn't line up back then. But now there's a need. There's history. There's money. That's a dangerous combination. And then Titans. This one feels different. On paper, it doesn't quite track. Why would a 30-year-old All-Pro step into a rebuild that might not sniff the postseason for years? What's the angle? But Tennessee isn't just any other team. It's where Ramsey's roots dig deep. Born there. Grew up with that state in his bones. That kind of pull, it's not about stats. It's not about rings. It's about something quieter. The idea of giving back. Of being the reason something rises from the ground again. There's something poetic about returning to where it all started. About standing on the same soil as the kid who used to dream this whole thing up. And maybe, just maybe, that means enough now. The Titans aren't empty. L'Jarius Sneed's return would give them a solid tandem. Not perfect, not shut down, but tough, relentless. And that counts. Cap space isn't a hurdle. The money's there. The roster? It's in flux, sure. But maybe that's part of the appeal. A chance to lead, to build. Not everyone wants that kind of pressure. But maybe Ramsey does now. It's not about finding the perfect fit. It's about which direction he wants to run in. Toward the past? Toward a brotherhood? Toward home? The Dolphins aren't showing all their cards. They don't need to. But the draft's coming fast, and decisions don't get easier the longer you wait. They're thinking about the future, and Ramsey? He's still a piece someone will want, someone will use, someone will build around.